What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. I'm your host, Ronald Kabang, also known as Youcapper from Sportsmemo.com at Youcapper Sports on Twitter. Got my guy Munaf with me here, Sports Nerd 824 on Twitter. Man, I always want to show the start the show transparent. Pretty flat weekend overall, as far as college basketball, UFC, NBA, and all that stuff. But overall, in the weekend, the last week and a half, dude, I've kind of been struggling with everything. I started the week off last week, number one over at sportsmemo.com on the leaderboard. I think I dropped to like third after last week. So kind of a down week and a half, and I want to get back on track today. I thought things were looking up yesterday, but some meltdowns happened, and just things didn't go my way yesterday. So hopefully it turn things around. Do like some things today. The last show we did on Friday was really good, and like I said on Friday too, I was feeling really confident on the plays that we were talking about, and we did good that day. So hopefully we come out with some good stuff today and start off the week profitable. How was your weekend this weekend, Muna?
Weekend turned out all right. I think yesterday was a pretty good day in the association. Did play the over in the Knicks and Celtics game. That one did get over thanks to Jalen Brown tying up the game to send it into overtime. Then also had God, what else did I have yesterday? I know I played the Rockets in the home game. I knew that the Spurs were pretty much going to sit everybody, and they really did. But um, the Rockets they're healthy. They finally got Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. back. So I played them, and then I think that was it for Sunday. So it turned out to be a pretty good day yesterday as far as the association. The week, I'm with you, man. RC, it was really up and down for me as well. Like one great day, and then the next day it just didn't turn out to be very good for me. But like you mentioned, it's a new week, man. Hopefully we can find some winners today. I know you and I have some alignment, so hopefully we can start off Monday on the right foot.
Yeah, let's get into it. So the first game that I do want to bring up is that Celtics and Cleveland game, just because we know that there's a lot of like roster, like injury stuff and load
Mhm.
management stuff going off right now. So I think the last that I heard was Horford was out, and then also Tatum is out now, right?
Yeah, Tatum's out as well,
Do
and then
we
I think Brogdon's out as well.
Brogdon's out now too?
I
Yeah.
believe so.
So
That's what I said. Let me double check
the
that though.
the I did take the under last night. It was at 219. I don't let's see what the numbers are right now, but
He's
it
down to
is at
217.
217.
I believe
Okay.
so. You know.
It's probably these are probably not updated to to um to the injury news yet, but yeah, so if it's at 217, some obviously closing line value there, but
It's sitting
I
at
think
218 now.
for the most part, man, like I missed that tuna. Like everyone in the chat was saying Celtics yesterday. I missed that opportunity to grab the 2.5, and now it's at -8. I'm not gonna grab Cleveland there at that number,
No.
even with Boston missing a lot of guys. I just feel like there's still a professional team that has some key players that are still going to be playing tonight. And with that said, I mean, there, I feel like eight is that like 7, 6.5 to like 9 range is where it gets really funky for me,
Mhm.
because you never know when teams are going to be like fouling at the end of the game, or they just allow it to go through and they just take the L. Those games are really funky to me, so I want to stay off of the spread there. But I still do like the under, um, even at the 217 mark. Munaf, do you think the under is still the way to go?
I think so. There's some trends that me and Chris were looking at earlier in the day that were pointing towards the under for this Celtics and the Cavs game. I think that so I misspoke that Malcolm Brogdon is going to be playing here tonight. He's not on the injury report, so Brogdon is going to be playing. But um, I think we were looking at the Celtics and the Cavs both playing teams that are above 500. And
Mhm.
they were pointing towards the under. I believe the Celtics were, I think, 11-2 to the under. And the two games that did actually go over were two games that went into overtime. And I think you have to put in, I think, on the road as well, RC.
Okay. I gotta bring my. I forget. I closed my notes on accident. One second, because I had
Let
some
me,
stuff to point to the under in this one as well. So,
yeah, let me
uh,
pull up the exact.
All right, there you
There you
go. So on the road versus teams with a winning record, 11-2-1 to the under there. And what I talked about on triple double was that team total under. But like I said earlier, I took the under full game, gave that out to clients last night.
Mhm.
Uh, And if you look at it, dude, like this is one of the lower totals you've seen from the Celtics team here. And you could see even this one here went over, but it went over because they went into OT. One thing that I looked at too for the Celtics side was how they do in road games after an OT game. They're 3-0
Yeah.
to the under, but look at the amount of points that they're scoring, 106.3. And these totals here are well above what we're seeing today if it is 217 right now. You know what I mean? That's almost like that's an 8-point gap on the total, and they're only averaging 106.3 per game. And I think the team total that I saw this morning was at 106 and a half or 106. They went over against the Sixers here, but for the most part, I just see them struggling in this spot here. If you look at how they played against them in Cleveland too,
Mhm.
team. It's just that road home split for this team. They struggle offensively. They only scored 113, but again, they went to OT. So they
Yeah.
went they would have been under their team total in that spot.
Mhm.
And I know on the Cleveland side, I think you were mentioning too how Cleveland does at home or against teams with a winning record as well.
Yeah.
15. Sorry, I think it's winning record total.
I think it's a 220, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, 220 and H. But at home, 7-2 straight up, 6-3 and against the spread, but 6-3 to the under there.
Mhm.
You see the amount that they're averaging, 98.8 points per game. You can even dive deeper into it. I think there was another way to dive deeper into it, but for the most part, you could see that team total on the opposite side, the Boston Celtics. I mean, sorry, for the Cleveland, they're limiting opponents to 8-1 under their team total. This one went over by the hook, and that had OT in it. So they were
Yeah.
well below their team total if it didn't have OT. So for the most part, a lot of things Celtics under, Celtics team total under, and then the full game under as well. Did you have any look on the side or anything?
No, I mean, I think we were talking about it last night, and then as of today with the injuries or the guys that are being out are being ruled out for the Cavs, with Horford sitting and Tatum sitting, and then we're not sure if Donovan Mitchell's going to go tonight either.
Yeah.
He's officially questionable still. So I think the best play for this game is probably either Celtics team total like you mentioned, or just taking the full game under.
At some point, do you feel like there's gonna be value on the Celtics side? Do you feel like it, or should it just stay away completely? Huh?
I think you could probably still get some value if this number keeps ballooning up. And we said it's out to 8. If it gets into the range of, I don't think it will. I mean, if Donovan Mitchell gets ruled in, do we think it moves to 9 possibly here?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think eventually there might be a point where you want to take Boston at the number, even without those key guys there, with key guys out like Tatum. Because like if you think about it, there's when Tatum and Brown are out, when one of them are out and one of them is in,
Hmm.
it's not like it's not like they can't overcome that loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they have the same similar skill set. So if one is out, one is in, they could just step it up, Brown or Tatum, depending on which guy is out. Uh, that's how I think. And then also, I think the bigger thing though is Horford being out because Robert Williams is already out, right?
Yeah. He's
So
out for
that
7
that
to
might
10
be the
days.
bigger problem, especially with Cleveland's roster makeup and the bigs that they have there. So yeah, never mind. I think I want to stay away from it. I think just focusing on that under.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Anything else from a prop perspective or anything before we move on to the next one?
I don't know if you want to look at like Evan Mobley rebounds or Jared Allen rebounds. I think that obviously they'll have a huge edge inside the paint with no real true big men for the Celtics here tonight. So I think that's really going to limit their second chance opportunities where they're probably going to have to knock down their shots if they want to compete in this game. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that here tonight, especially like we mentioned, coming off the double overtime loss last night, and they're in a travel situation as well.
Yeah, if we see an under, there's definitely a lot of rebounding opportunities there. So let's look at that real quick. So we got Jarrett Allen there showing
Yep.
up right away. Over 10.5 rebounds against Boston. So he's only gone over in 2 out of the last 5. But matchup wise, it makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, and then I think that number's what 10.5. You said.
Yeah, 10.5.
Yeah. So again, I think there's an opportunity for Jared Allen. I think in the previous, I think one game where he did have 14 rebounds, if I'm not mistaken, earlier
Mhm.
this year. Yeah, this is the fourth matchup already this season between these two teams. He had 11 rebounds in the first matchup, 14, and then 7 in the last game. So I don't hate that prop.
10.5. So he missed this one here. He must have
Yeah.
been in like, damn, he did. I wonder what happened in this game. It don't look like a normal stat line for him. 14, 11, hit the 10 there. I mean, he should have a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened in that game. He wasn't in foul trouble either. He only had one. I think that was just an Evan Mobley game where he had 12 points and 13 rebounds. But then that was also a game where Donovan Mitchell and Garland combined for 71 points in that game. So,
Yeah.
and they were making like crazy shots in that game. That game was what, last week between these two teams in Boston. So I
Hmm.
think we might see the script may flip a little here tonight in Cleveland.
It makes a lot of sense. Like sort of like a bounce back here. He
Yeah.
has been struggling to get that 10.5. It just seems like the matchup wise, it makes sense to take that rebound prop here.
Hmm.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's go with the Sixers Pacers. This one I didn't really dive deep into it completely, but just looking at the first quarter, I was telling you right before the show, the way that I was looking at it was that first quarter, either the team total on the Sixers side over or just on the spread here. Because if you look at the last 10, sorry, the first quarter rankings on the season here, you can see the offensive rating at fifth in the first quarter for Philly versus 30th here on the Pacers side. And then also defensively, they're not that great defensively, the Pacers in that first quarter either. And that's kind of why I was looking towards that team total over or just the spread in general. On average, Pacers first quarter minus 4.2 on the season here. They've been doing a little bit well. I mean, if we look at last 10, but I just not, I'm not sure that that's where, um, I don't know. There's still that margin, that -4 margin there. Philly has been doing a little bit less, worse in that first quarter margin, -1.7 the last 10 games, but I still can only look in that direction. Defensively, if you look at them both defensively, both in the bottom 10 defensive ranking last 10 games in that first quarter. You were looking at more of a full game look, right? Not the first quarter?
Yeah, I was looking at Sixers team total over. I think it's at 120. I know they put up 120 in both of the matchups so far this season, but if you want to see RC, I know Pacers are in a back-to-back situation,
Yeah.
and then back-to-back games, what they're giving up maybe in that first quarter.
Back to back, road to home too. Okay, so let's look at
Yeah, because
that.
they played last night in Chicago.
So we'll look at back to back first. Giving up 32 a game in that first quarter,
Yeah, let me see what the
allowing
numbers.
117.7. And this is just rest. So if we go home, 5-1 to the over, full game. That first quarter, 32.2. And then we say PA. So from road to home, only 2 games, a little bit lower there, but still on the full game, it's still like the full game is still going over
Yeah,
combined. But neither of these teams, I would say, would be at the caliber of Philly.
the Sixers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Because Magic, I mean, offensively, I think we talked about PJ Tucker and Tobias Harris possibly not playing here tonight. I think those are more two defensive guys. So I think that maybe
Yeah.
we'll see a little bit more pace in this game as well. I know we talked
That makes
about
a lot of sense.
Embiid. Yeah, when he's in the lineup, they maybe slow it down a little bit. But I don't know. I think that if Maxey gets into that starting lineup, that gives him more opportunity with as far as putting up points.
So what? So wait. PJ Tucker
They're a little
with PJ
faster
Tucker.
with him.
That don't make any sense. How many? Oh,
But
wait,
look at the
hold
points
on.
then.
My bad. I gotta put this season.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Okay, there you go.
There
Now
we go.
that makes more
Okay.
sense. Okay. All right, so with PJ Tucker, 96.16 without 102.49. That's a that's a smart look.
How many
That
points
is
are
a
they
smart.
putting up in those games?
What was that?
How many points per game? I think it should tell you on the bottom there.
119
Without.
without. Yeah. Only 2 games though.
Yeah.
That's the part that sucks.
Yeah. It is a very, very
But I
small
mean, it's
sample.
pretty telling that it's a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
All right, let's look at that a little bit more. You know what? Let's go to SPO and look at those games specifically real quick. I want to see if it's consistent between the two or if one is like way better than the other.
Yeah, because let's say he doesn't play. Who takes his spot in the starting lineup? Is it? I don't think it's Maxi. I mean, who else could it be? Is it
Yeah,
Niang? Because he can knock down 3-point shots as
it's
well.
threes, yeah. So 115 and 123. What is their team total today?
120 is what I last saw. The first quarter's
120.
at 31.
And then this one they went on. I mean, obviously it went under, but under 120. But they were on the second leg of back-to-back games.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see who started in those two games without PJ Tucker. So one was against the Thunder
The other one against Detroit.
and Shake Milt. Well, there's no Harden either. So D'Anthony Milton got a start, and then Shake Milton got a start as well. And then in the Detroit game, the most recent one, D'Anthony Milton, and then Maxey also started as well, but that was no Joel Embiid. So you're probably looking at Milton or possibly either one of the Miltons starting here tonight, D'Anthony Milton or Shake Milton in place of if PJ doesn't go tonight.
And look at this one. All right, so here's another. So Pacers as home dogs of 5 or more. They're giving up hella points. This one did go into OT, but I'm pretty sure they went over in regulation. And you said it was 121 and a half?
120.
120?
Yeah.
That's definitely doable.
Yeah.
So road favorite. Let's look at these higher totals. 230.
Probably find some 119 and a halves out there as well as what I'm seeing right now.
Spurs. Pacers. These are all West Coast teams. Jazz, Lakers, Blazers, Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all these low ass totals too.
6-2 to the over. Yeah, but it's only 221.
Yeah. I still, but I mean, if you look at these paces, the pace of play here, like I mean, like 3 games here under 220 on the full game total. This is definitely the highest that they've seen. And then the next highest would be 229 and a half. They went over 123. I can only look towards that way as well.
Yeah.
But I still like that first quarter over though, because even in this query here, you can see that first quarter is the highest scoring quarter out of all of them.
Yeah, and Sixers have the rest advantage here too, right? They played on what was it, Saturday?
Mm-hmm. No,
the Sixers.
The Sixers, yeah.
And then yesterday the Pacers played against Chicago. Now they have to travel back, so they could probably come out flat in that first quarter.
Yeah, hold on, let me write that down. So Sixers, I still like that Sixers first quarter look. That team total over 119 makes sense too. This one road favorite, with rest advantage doesn't point towards that full game over.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I just feel like this is that spot where you kind of look away from, because if you look at one of them's Knicks, they've been playing really great defense, just overall good basketball lately.
Yeah.
All these other ones here are very close to that. Yeah, they're very close to that mark. Because if you take that out right here, that 97, this would bump up to like 118, 119 or whatever.
Yeah, and one of them did go into double overtime there,
Oh
but
yeah, shoot, I didn't see that either. That was the Rockets. I bet you nobody played in that game.
I think that was a game. I think that was in Houston, wasn't it? I remember that game.
Yeah, these are all road. Let's see.
Yeah, everybody played.
They all played. Oh, Maxi didn't play.
Yeah.
For the most part, dude, I agree with you here. The full game over. I still like that first quarter over. I
Mhm.
think that the fact that PJ Tucker is gone or not in the lineup is gonna push this one over.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at that. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Hawks and the Heat. All right, so this one, I, I don't know if it's gonna be like super correlated, but I was talking about the Hawks team total under,
Mhm.
but like the full game under as well. And I was saying on the triple double show, I was like, even if the Hawks go under their team total, I feel like there's still a chance that they do cover this game here. And I think you like the Hawks in this one, right?
Yeah, I like the Hawks here tonight. This is that kind of second game of those mini back to back series that the teams play the same opponent in consecutive games.
Yeah,
They matched up on Saturday, RC, and that was a game where both DeJounte Murray and Trey Young just didn't have a very good game. They were combined, I think, 5 of like 27, 0 of 10 from 3-point land, and they still only lost that game by 8 points. And it was really that second quarter that was kind of, was the difference in that last game. I know Miami has won, I believe, 2 of the 3 matchups, and I think that both teams have motivation here tonight, but kind of take a look at that Southeast Division right now. They're only separated by 1.5 game. So I know that Atlanta knows that, hey, if we're gonna get this victory, we trim it down to half a game, and then at that point, they can come out and steal this division. So I think that the both, at least DeJounte Murray should bounce back here tonight, at least contribute somewhat to the Hawks scoring here. But
yeah,
I think it's a good spot here for the Hawks. And again, we looked at the numbers for the Miami Heat as a home favorite. It's just not very good, right? They've been fade material at home when they're
yep.
favored.
8-20-2 against the spread at
Yeah,
home.
and they get the victories. They're just not covering the number.
Yeah, for sure. 3. Even I think even the smaller numbers they're not winning either. Let me just go back to that. It's crazy because like all these shorter numbers, they still would win and not cover like 3.5s, the 2s.
Yeah,
It's crazy to see that just like how tight these games are. Um, I can only look towards the Hawks as well. I just don't like the Heat as home favorites. The other thing too is like I mentioned, even though the team total under was the way that I was looking on the Hawk side, that doesn't mean that they don't cover this game. I think it was a good one thing that you mentioned was DeJounte Murray. He went over 5 from 3. I think he's been hitting his 3 prop for the most part too
hmm
lately. I definitely do think that he bounces back offensively in this game. Um, one of the other things that I was looking at here on the Hawks side, damn. So we go Hawks. Oh, previous opponent. There you go. They've only played 2 games. They've split it. They split the series. They've went over in two games. They played the Pistons and the Sixers here. I the biggest thing for me here is the Heat. I think they're just so inconsistent, right?
yeah,
So consistently, if we look at consistency, Pistons on this game, I think obviously they should have won that game. Sixers, they're to me, I feel like they're one of the more consistent teams on the East, especially when healthy. So they ended up losing this one. Heat, they're just so inconsistent as far as when you think that they're going to show up. I feel like we can't take some of these trends and just be like, all right, well, Hawks do bad in this spot. Let's just fade them. The Heat at home is the part that is really consistent in not covering. I feel like there was something else that I was seeing earlier that actually made this worse. Now I can't even think of it. I didn't write it down because it was while Ski was breaking it down earlier on Triple
mhm.
Double. he said something and I looked it up and it was really good. I forgot what it is now. But did you have anything on the total? Because I like the full game under in this one.
Yeah, I think probably look towards an under in this game. I I don't have, I mean, much stats to back it up. I mean, just going off a gut here, I would go towards the under. I think bring in the motivation factor of it, right? Like, it's a division game. Like, it means a lot for both of these teams. Again, like I mentioned, for the division here, Southeast Division. Um, and I want to say that the Heat at home do trends toward the under as well. Let me see here. Very slightly, 15, 17 and 15 towards the under at home so far this year for Miami. Um, Atlanta 12 and 11 as road underdogs towards the under as well. So yeah, if I had to make a pick, I would probably go under here. I think we see more of a defensive effort here tonight from the Atlanta Hawks, especially when they gave up 117. Like, you can't give up 117 and expect to win a game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
220. I don't understand why the total is going up. Everything to me just pointing to the under. It doesn't make any
It's
sense.
one of those where, I don't know, where was it? We were breaking some game down last week, and it was the Suns. I mean, it was the Suns game where it was the money was coming on Chicago,
Mhm.
and then the Suns ended up blowing them out. I think this could be one of those situations as well.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I can only look towards the under in this game. Let me look at the chat real quick. So Wham, yeah, the Murray threes. I was looking at that earlier because it's 1.5. He didn't get any in that previous game. I think he hit 4 out of his last 5 before the game against Miami. Jimmy PRA over. Kevin Love is out. Lowry is out as well. I think the rebounds are gonna go somewhere. Also the assists that Kevin Love has been getting.
Oh,
So
he's
that
out. I
makes
thought he
sense
was
to me.
probable tonight.
Who? Love?
Yeah,
He was announced out
he was. Okay.
right before triple double, so around like
Okay.
9:45. Right before that is what I saw he was out.
All right.
Bam PRA looks pretty good too as well. Uh, yeah, the under there. Did you take anything on this game specifically yet, or no?
No, maybe a DeAndre Ayton. I mean, sorry, DeAndre Hunter points prop. He's done pretty well this season, actually, against this Heat team. He's at 18, 15, and 17 as far as a player prop. But as far as a side, I do like Atlanta in this game. I actually already did play that. Atlanta plus a 3 in the money line.
Yeah, he has been doing really well against them. I wonder what do you have his number?
Let me see.
Point
Here
number?
real quick. Let's see. DeAndre Hunter tonight is where you go? 14 and a half at even money.
Damn.
Yeah, he's gone over in all 3 of those games, right?
Yeah, he went over in all 3.
17, 15, 18. Yep.
Game log. He's been pretty good. Okay. That's a good look there. I might get with you because I know Ski likes the Hawks plus 3 as well. I think Wang likes the Hawks too. I might just ride with you guys. That's a good look. It makes sense to me. All right, let's move on to another one. Raptors Nuggets. I think you were saying you were looking towards the over, right? On this one?
Yeah. You take a look at both of these teams in non-conference games. I think they're both top 3 as far as going towards the over. Or actually they're 3 and 4. Denver's 13 and 7 towards the over non-conference games, and then Toronto 15 and 9 towards the over non-conference games.
I was looking towards the over too. I think when I was breaking it down, I was looking more so to the Nuggets team total over.
Okay.
And so let me see. I'll show it right now. So if we go to the Nuggets here, and we just look at them as home favorites, right? So they've been really great as home favorites. 27 and 4. Is that right? 27-4. Why am I missing something? Nuggets and home favorite. 27 and 4 straight up, 20 and 10 against the spread. I don't know why my numbers are different on my notes. It's like it's missing a couple games. All right. So if you include that they're playing at least their second straight game at home. So if we say PH, it goes to 13-1, 10-3 against the
Mm,
spread. And you see that point average
120,
points there,
124.
123.9, the
Yeah.
13-point gap there, 13.7 gap. And we go even further and we say it's not non-conference, not C. 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread, 4-0 to the over,
Yes.
averaging 131 per game, allowing 113.8. If we just focus in on that Nugget side, it's like Nuggets all day here. First quarter, first half, the full game, the team total over. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
only way that I was kind of looking in this one. That's why it's kind of confusing to see that I think that wasn't it going down towards Toronto? Yeah, see,
The spread.
yeah. And I'm not really 100% sure why. I don't know if there's like injury news or what, but I can only look towards the Nuggets here. And if you look at the Raptors, we'll just go Raptor team equals.
Yeah, the number's down to 6 now.
What team equals Nuggets in season? It was 2014. We just look at them in general. Oh,
Mhm.
I think it was. I want to on the
So
road. So in Denver,
MPJ is now questionable.
was that like within the last 30
Like
minutes or something?
just a minute ago or 4 minutes ago.
Maybe that could be part of the move because
Yeah, that's
these
what it is.
the Reds. Oh, well, it already turned red, yellow. But the Reds mean that they changed like within the last like 5 minutes or something
Hmm.
like that. So Nuggets, sorry, the Raptors in Denver since 2015 they struggle there in general. 1-6 straight up. Oh, sorry, 1-6 against the spread, 5-1-1 to the over, and that includes the last few years here. The other thing too, just Raptors. So if we go season, they're just struggle on the road in general. Just everything points towards the Nuggets at 13-9 against the spread, 18-13-1 to the over. I don't know. Did you get there with this game yet?
I do want to play the over in some way, whether that's first half or full game. Now, I mean, obviously now it's coming down a little bit to 229
Mhm.
with the MPJ news, but I think
Yeah.
your handicap is correct about the Nuggets team total over. I just want to kind of see how they've done without MPJ in the lineup, and who kind of starts in the spot, because I mean that's another lethal 3-point shooter and a guy that can fill up the basket for you. Um, and Michael Porter Jr. I'm trying to see if I can pull something up here on Stat
Raptors
Muse.
first. Some good stats in the chat right now, pointing towards fading the Raptors in that first quarter. Because even if we don't take that full game, off that first quarter, first half is really strong on that back to back home games for the Nuggets. I don't see if what about back to back road games for the Raptors? Nothing too crazy there.
Who did they play last? The Raptors.
The last game,
Yeah,
Wizards. They played 2 games against Washington, so they travel. They travel from DC to Denver
yeah.
on 1 day of rest, and then the Nuggets have rest advantage as well.
Mm-hmm. And playing
Coming
in
off
altitude.
OT, yeah. I can only look towards the Nuggets here, no matter like just all over the Nuggets. It seems like, um, damn. What would all right? So if you were to pick one play on this game,
I
what
think
are
you
you
got to go
focusing on?
first quarter, right, for the Denver Nuggets, whether it's on the
Has to
spread
be
or even
right.
their team total.
They got to
Because
take advantage of that.
yeah, I know we were talking offline. And Ski mentioned that Jokic usually plays the entire first quarter
Mm-hmm.
for the Denver Nuggets. So I would look at first quarter, and I think that the guys putting out in the chat, Raptors 0-8 first quarter on the road against the spread. Let me see how
So
they've
let's
done.
let's bring that up real quick. So overall record, Denver, first quarter. So on average, you're scoring last 10. If we look at last 10 games in general,
Mhm.
let's look at the ratings full season. First quarter, first in offensive rating, third in defensive rating, net rating 1. If we look at last 10 games, I mean, they're not first, but they're still up there in the top 10. And offensive rating on the Raptors side, they still struggle.
Mhm.
22nd there. I think what I'm struggling is, what do we take the team total or do we take the spread there? Because it seems like I mean, if we look at these last 10, they're plus 1.7. The Raptors are in that first quarter.
2-8 against the spread in the first quarter in their last 10 road games.
2-8.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. It's got to be Denver. I think Denver is at play there first quarter. Yeah, the chat
Yeah, I
likes
agree.
their Denver first
Yeah.
quarter too. First quarter.
See how they've been doing post All-Star break. First quarter.
Raptors after the All-Star break.
Yeah. They're actually number 3 as far as defensive rating.
Ugh.
Let's see.
They struggle on offense there. Raptors
Well, let me
18.
break this down by
Gab.
conference. No. All versus the West. Toronto, number 12. Location on the road. Yeah, I mean, they're still top. They're number 6.
Damn.
In the first quarter as far as defensive rating. Which means they probably regress in the second half then.
Who? The Nuggets?
The Toronto Raptors. Yeah, they're still around top 10 in a lot of the first quarter categories in non-conference games and in the first quarter, whether it's at home or on the road.
This is interesting that Gab Escom brought up. So just going back, I'll bring it back a little bit. So if we go to Raptors since 2018, road non-conference games when less rested, they're 18-3 against the spread. They have a few games here this season too that fit the script.
That's all this week too.
Oh shit, it is.
They go from Denver and then to LA.
For the Raptors?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I even changed it to dog, and they're still doing well against the spread full game. So maybe it is early. I know these don't point towards it, but Denver, I would say Denver is not your typical team.
Yeah, they played. How they doing that first quarter in that game? Was that? Well, that was not this year, was it?
Which one? This one? No,
Yeah,
that
that
wasn't
Denver
it.
game.
That
That was
wasn't
last.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if we look at, I think what I showed earlier, right? So if we go Raptors on the road versus Denver. Just historically, they don't do bad. They don't do well in that spot. 1-3 straight up, 1-3 against the spread, 3-1 to the over, allowing Denver to go over in all 3 games. This one probably is driving these numbers here. Let me take that out real quick. Three 3-0 to the over. Damn.
First half.
I feel like it's that team total that we gotta focus in on, dude.
Yeah. So first quarter, right?
First quarter, first half, full game. I feel like all of it. We just stay away from the spread and focus on what we feel like the Denver can do.
Yeah.
And then we take away the fact that the Raptors are so inconsistent offensively. then that means we stay away from the spread. I think that's the way we go, dude. Nuggets team total over the first quarter, first half, or first quarter or first half probably. I think the earlier the better.
Yep, I think so too.
All right. Shout out to the chat for all that information. That was really good stuff. For bringing that up, because that kind of took me off of that full game spread. All right. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 games. Did you have anything on the Blazers, Pistons, or the Pelicans, Kings?
Just player props for the Pistons and the Blazers game. I know we're talking a lot about Jeremy Grant returning back to Detroit.
Yeah.
Since he got traded over to the Blazers, but the one game that the Pistons came into Portland to play, he had a really good game. I think he put up like 36 in that game against his former team, but now he's going into the Motor City here tonight on the road. I think that you should probably get a similar type of performance from him. He did at 36 and 28 minutes in that game back on January 2nd in Portland, 5 of 8 from 3-point land. So I was looking at over 22.5 here tonight for Jeremy Grant, and then taking the over on his 3-point shots. That was at 2.5 at plus money. So, if they're going to focus in on Damian Lillard, trying to slow him down, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to, but I think you should have some opportunities with Jeremy Grant here tonight, especially with no Simons on the floor either. So he really just turns into your second scoring option for the Portland Trailblazers.
Blazers are on the second of back-to-backs, right? So
they played yesterday in Orlando and got the victory by 3.
Damn. It seems like you know how we remember when we were taking Pistons games at home over like earlier in the season, we were smashing those. Seems like they've been going under recently.
And that has a lot to do with a lot of the injuries and different lineups now too for this Pistons team, right? Because I know when we've talked a lot about Killian Hayes in the group chat, but I'm not sure that's a guy you want to get behind betting it over, especially the way he plays and turns the ball over
for
too.
Sure. So we go home. Yeah, if you look at it, it's a lot of unders recently at home.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do, most of it's their offense that's struggling, even when they cover games. But I can't take no team total under against the Blazers defense either.
Yeah, they have I think it's the second worst defense after the All-Star break from a rating standpoint. Let me double check that. Yeah, 29 is Portland defensive rating, and then Sacramento's number 30.
I don't know if I can get anything on this game. I think props, like you said, props might be the right way to go here.
Yeah, shockingly, Detroit RC are top 5 defensive rating after the All-Star break.
Damn, that's crazy. Well, it probably has to do a lot with this one, but they did keep. What was it? Oh shit! I got it filtered. My bad. Hold on. There you go. 4-1 to the under there. Raptors, Magic,
Hornets. It's just so they're not scoring. They're only averaging 102.
Scoring. The Bulls, they went over by a little bit. Damn, their defense really has been playing well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with,
Is it the pace? Did their pace slow down?
I'm not sure if it's a pace, but I feel like it's like the big men now that with Bagley and Wiseman in there, giving some rim protection and also getting rebounds, maybe limiting second chance opportunities as well for the opposition. Bogdanovich is out tonight as well for the Pistons too. Stewart is out as well.
That's crazy. I think you're right. I think it is that their defense has flipped the switch, because their pace of play on the full season compared to their last 5 games, it's still the same.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not pace. It's just their defense is really stepping up. That's crazy. I want to see one more thing too. It's not like they're getting blown out either. It's not like they're getting blown out to the point where their opponents aren't putting their key players in. I mean, obviously this one was the blowout, but 2-11, 4-2. The opponents probably should have had their key players in there for the most part, the whole game.
Yeah, and the two home games, I think they covered. They won. Yeah, they covered the two games
They
at
covered
home.
both. Yeah, they played them tight too. Damn.
Yeah,
What did you took
I just took Jeremy Grant props on this
Grant
game.
over? Is
Yeah,
it the threes only or points in general?
I took both points over 22.5 and then over 2.5 threes made. If Bagley does end up, or if Wiseman gets ruled out, I think he was on the injury report, questionable. If Bagley's rebounds pop up, I think that he could have a big rebounding night here as well.
All right, so Jeremy Grant, 22.5, gone over in just 2 of the last 5, but this is the best matchup for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a bounce back spot for him. Also, I think you mentioned it, the revenge angle as well,
The
right?
revenge angle, yeah.
Yeah. Reddish, you know who I've been looking. So I took Reddish 3-pointers yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually been doing pretty well in that spot. I think they've been giving him 1.5 the whole time. Yesterday I think he only got 2, but it did go over. Right here, so he's gone over in 5 of the last 6. His 3 is still at 1.5.
Yeah, the 1.5 minus 145 is what I see.
I think as long as Simons is out, Reddish continues to start. He's gonna get those opportunities. It's not like he's hitting at a pretty good rate too, his percentage wise.
Check Thibault. I feel like he's been getting him up too.
Thibault threes.
Yeah.
I don't see him on here. Is he considered a guard or forward?
I think it might be a forward.
Matisse. Yeah, they have him as guard. So that's probably what kind of messes up the ranking here. Because I'm pretty sure he swings guard and forward, shooting guard, small forward.
Mm-hmm.
But he has been hitting over 1.5 for the last 6 too. They're just been shooting threes in general. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, I think because they're focused so much on Dame trying to slow him down, it probably opens up opportunities for guys like Cam Reddish and Thibault to get those threes. You said at least 2 and 4 of the last 5 games. He went 1 of 6 yesterday against the Magic. So currently see him at minus 145 as well on the over 1.5.
Okay, everyone's like saying I'm not looking at the chat. I'm not. To be honest, I'm not because I'm so focused on capping. But I'll look right here. So Pistons without Bogey. Bogdanovich is out today. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then trend with teams that lost after losing in double OT. Yeah, I can look at both of those. Damn, I don't want to spell his name out. All right, so Pistons. Bojan. It's Bojan, right? And there's so many bugs. I always get those two confused.
Bojan and Bogdan.
Yeah. All right. Whoa. What? So he's for sure out today.
Yeah. When I was doing my show this morning, he was officially ruled out on the injury report.
Oh shit! That's Chris. Oh my god. I was like, who the hell is Chris Cochran? I didn't know his last name. All right, my bad, Chris. 0-5 straight up, 0-5 ATS, 4-1 to the under. And they getting smashed.
I think Pistons team total under might be a. No, I don't know. Portland's defense has been very
Yeah,
good.
that's what I'm saying. I can't take your team total.
Never mind.
Under on Pistons. Damn. Do you take that spread though? Blazers
5.5.
5.5.
I don't know, man. They're in the tankathon.
Yeah, I don't know either, dude. But
Yeah,
the under
stay
looks pretty
away.
solid after that, though.
Yeah, it's probably a good props game though. Player props.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, sorry. Let me look at one more thing because someone asked about a trend here. Teams that lost. The team that lost after double OT loss. Okay, so we go POT greater than or equal to 2, SDQL. It doesn't look like anything really significant. Just looking at season by season. So if we go overall, 114 and 111 straight up, 114, 103. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's anything significant. This season, a lot of covers, but they're on a second of back to back. So let's put the rest equals 0. Still nothing too significant. Recent years, I guess you could say a fade spot. Under.
Yeah, under's what?
There you go. Yeah, under in recent games.
6 out the last 7.
So still looking towards that under, dude. Team total under as well for the Celtics side. I would say that would be the way that I go. All right.
Chris saying to add some
Add
parameters.
why don't you just pop in here, dude? Peace out. Equal. NT. Man, I don't know what you're saying, dude. All right. Well, I'm not too sure if this is what you're trying to show. Not too sure. All right. So I think one more. I mean, shit. Do you have time for one more game? Might as well go through all of them.
Yeah, might as well.
Shit. All right. So we got Pelicans and the Kings here. Initially, I was looking at the Kings team total over in this one. I know the Pelicans have been struggling offensively. At the same time, the Kings defense is just so bad. I think they're dead last on the season, aren't they?
Who said you said the Pelicans?
No. The Kings defense is dead last. Oh, they're not. But if we look at recent form,
After All-Star break, they're dead last. They're also number 1 in offensive rating too.
that's what I'm saying. Like, even though, so if we look at last 10 games, right? So number 1 offensive rating. Let's just let's just do 5.
I think they've all played like 6 over the last after All-Star break.
Okay. All right, let's just move to 6 then. All right, so we got Kings first defensive rate. Dead last in defensive rating, first in offensive rating. If you look at the Pelicans, their offensive rating is bad. 27th. Defensive rating is in the middle of the pack. As far as pace goes,
Sacramento has to be like number 1.
they're pretty close to 1.
Yeah.
Fast-paced team. I think Pelicans are in the middle too. Yeah, right here, 98.3. I don't want to take I don't want to take a team total under for the Pelicans just because of Kings defense. I think we just focus on what should happen, which is Kings just continue to ball out offensively, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't we just take the team total over in that case?
Yeah, I did see that De'Aaron Fox. I think they said he participated in shoot around in this true game time decision. But it's also a revenge spot here, RC, for the Kings
right?
after they got smacked in New Orleans earlier this year. I think it was like a 30-plus point victory for the Pelicans. And that was a game without Brandon Ingram and Zion for the Pelicans.
The Kings also didn't have Fox that game either. That's one thing that I noticed too. So that was a huge loss for them. It's crazy to see how much he impacts that team. Team. Let's look at them in revenge games. 9-4 straight up, 9-4 against the spread to the under. Full game
the
under.
Team total 122 almost.
122 is their team total.
Tonight it might be a little bit higher. Let me check.
Oh, you're saying the average?
Just their average, in revenge games. It's at 121.5.
121.5. So let's take out under. Take out the 240 totals. It's right there, 121.5 on the average. Two of
this
these
one's
games. No, under.
maybe first half team total over.
What was it? 60, 61?
Tonight it is probably right at that number at 61 and a half. Here we go. First half 59 and a half actually. I think they're expecting a more of a higher scoring second half because the first half total is only 116 and a half. Full games at 237.
So looking at the Pelicans versus teams that they beat earlier in the season, and they're the dog now. It looks like the second half for the opponent is where they give up a lot more points. So look at that third quarter
Mhm.
there. So I think
Yeah.
that makes sense. But it's nowhere near the 120, whatever the team total is.
Yeah, you're gonna get
As far as
a
average.
second half team total of around, or the first half is at. It's probably gonna be around 62, 61 and a half, 62 and a half.
It's crazy because the total over 230 just seems like way too high for a Pelicans game. Because when I add total over 230, there's 5-1 to the under.
Yeah, I mean they haven't. If you even look at their recent games, honestly, they haven't been doing a lot of scoring, man. It's
Like
just
none.
yeah, it's like been around like 105, 106. I don't remember the last time they hit 110.
They're just really struggling um without Zion. Ever since Zion was been out, I feel like he's been that guy that they're really missing right now. Even Bi coming back hasn't affected that offense like I thought it would.
And they're missing a lot of guys too, right? Alvarado's been out for them, so they're
Mhm.
really going deeper into their bench.
Yeah, initially I did like the Kings team total over. Looking at how they do post All Star break, obviously the Pelicans not doing well offensively, but they're also shutting teams down. But I mean, comparing, I don't think all these teams. Well, Blazers typically do well offensively, but I think Simon's being out is one thing. Warriors have been struggling offensively. I don't know, man. I didn't take this game yet.
Yeah, I haven't pulled it either, but they might not have Valanciunas here tonight either. Do the Pelicans, so no real rim protection either.
Hmm. Maybe this is just one I stay away from. It's a lot of weird things going on in this one.
Might be
But
a
if
good
I was
in-game
if I was to
opportunity.
play anything, it would be the Kings side or the team total over.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. I think that's it. We went through each game here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's drop some officials then. Munaf,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Atlanta Hawks +3. We want to take it on the sprinkle a little bit on the money line as well. A good opportunity for them to kind of close a gap in that division here tonight. They lost the previous game on Saturday with, like we mentioned, DeJounte Murray and Trae Young not having a really good game.
Yeah.
So I do like them here tonight. And then Jeremy Grant props, whether you want to take over 2.5 3-point shots made, over 22.5 points. Also, James Harden's points prop as well. Those were my favorite looks here for tonight. I know we talked a lot about Sixers, maybe first quarter team total for the
First quarter team
Sixers
total.
or
Yeah.
full game. Yeah, and then obviously we both like the under in the Cavs and the Boston game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it still at 218
Yeah.
on the Wagertalk site. I wonder if it went down initially to 217
And
and
then
then
came
came
back
back
up.
up probably.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Even at 218, dude, I still like it. I think I want to say they stay under 215 combined tonight. And then that team total under on Boston side, what is it at? Team total under? Because when I gave it out earlier, it was at 106. It's
They're
still
at
it's at
10.
105.
Yeah.
I still think that they go under that as well. Um, so I would say under Boston team total or the full game under. Like I said earlier, though, I did take it last night at 219. Um, the other things that we mentioned, so I might just ride with you guys on that Hawks +3. I think the things that you brought up, Ski and even A Wang is on it as well. I trust you guys a lot, so I might just tell you guys on that Hawks one. And then the other thing is Sixers first quarter team total over or the full game over. Nuggets first quarter also possibly
Yeah.
that team total over.
Mhm.
As much as I want to get there on the spread, I think I'm gonna to shy away and just focusing on their team total, Denver's team total. I think that's it. I think that's it. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's it. All right,
Yep.
so that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully we gave out some great information. Hopefully we start off this week on a good strong note here, with plus with positive with basically positive day. Other than that, you have any shows today? I know you got baseball coming up on Wednesday, right? Is it Wednesday? The big
Yeah, I'm doing a show, a Twitter space. I think it's around 7 p.m. Eastern. A couple of other Twitter MLB guys for with Adam Rosenberg, and then also we're starting our division previews for the MLB gambling podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network tomorrow. We're gonna have a good friend of the show. We're gonna start with the AL East tomorrow, so we're gonna go around 5 p.m. Eastern. I'll drop the link on my Twitter, so definitely tune in if you're going to get ready for baseball.
Yeah, make sure you guys follow Sports Nerd 824. Definitely a lot of his content on his shows there has been really great. Especially like I mean it's not exactly like Let's Cap where we show it visually, but a lot of the same information that he drops here are on the shows. So I can't wait to see how you guys do in baseball. Hopefully when you do when during the baseball season you'll still be here on Let's Cap as well. We did baseball season with Chris last year, kind of doing similar stuff here, screen
Yeah,
sharing.
for sure.
So definitely hope you join us there. Other than that, guys, always got to end the show like this. Whether you fade us or follow us, it is on you guys to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Till next time, peace.